welcome to Cruise on Kayfabe. I'm Mongo.
Emily.
And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We figured we were about to talk about something about Double or Nothing, talk about wrestling, talk about Darby. You know, in this episode that I call High Stakes, where we're going to talk about the road to Double or Nothing, and eventually we're going to talk about the Owen Hart, which some of us might have predicted some of the matches, and some of us might have even predicted potential winners. So I'm excited to dive in because it's been a crazy couple weeks of Dynamite and Collision.
It really has. We've seen a lot of Darby Allin. We've seen a lot of fluctuation between this title belt. I think it's really cool to see everybody wants a piece of Darby.
And what I kind of like is it reminds me a lot of this Orange Cassidy workhorse run where he's just defending it week after week after week. And they're even doing the whole babyface, his body's breaking down, what's going to happen. And he's accepting all challenges except for MJF. He made MJF put his hair on the line at Double or Nothing to get that rematch. And, you know, for a 28-day title reign so far, to have 7 defenses going into Double or Nothing next week is wild. To think that twice a week, sometimes more, he's defending this title against people who probably wouldn't have had a shot otherwise. So like you said, this chaos, this fluctuation of the title picture, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, you saw the likes of Kevin Knight, Sammy Guevara. We've got
Tommaso Ciampa, Brody King, Pac, and we have Speedball coming up next week.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of Darby's history mixed with a lot of new, fresh talent. And I think that that's the funnest part about watching this is that, again, everyone is coming out from the locker room like, I want some of this. And Darby's like, okay, let's go. Except for MJF. Fuck you.
Right? And I love it. And I love that he's even like, I love this. That's why he's doing it, because he said he's going to go until the wheels fall off, and he is. I mean,
this is how you make a short title run matter. This is everything for Darby right now. I think that his TNT title run was fantastic, both of them. Has he been 2 or 3 time TNT? 2 time. So I think that something fun about Darby is just that he makes everything feel so much bigger than it is. And for us, like, watching Darby get this title, we didn't know if he was actually going to get this or not. As much hope as you have, as much like, oh my God, will he, won't he? Oh my goodness, like, what's going to happen? I think that a random Dynamite having Darby Allin post a pay-per-view win this was so unexpected and beautifully written and executed wonderful. Like, I can't say enough good things about this title run, especially where it is someone like Darby Allin.
No, I like it because every single match it's been different. You know, you had the match with Ciampa that he had to fight the aggressiveness, you know, getting dumped on, you know, to the ground, you know, having Ciampa just destroy him. Then Brody King the following week, where Brody King's throwing himself at him in the barricade. He's coffin dropping him on the cement. Against Kevin Knight, who's got the quickness that he hasn't seen before that matches his, to where he had to go to a whole nother level. To Pac on the golf course, where they're fighting in the sand trap, thrown off balconies, tombstones on chairs, multiple coffin drops, kicked him in the nuts.
So, something about, I'm not shy about it. I don't really care for Pac as a person, but as a wrestler, fan-fucking-tastic. So to have them be the fairway to hell, you watched our reactions. You saw, if you watched with us, if not, go check it out. Cheap plug. We did a watch along to Fairway to Hell because I was so excited. I didn't care what the matches were. I cared about this venue and I wanted to see what they were going to do. And they definitely utilized that golf course way more than I even was hoping for. So if you're a golf fan, please let us know how you liked that match.
And don't worry, they raked the pit, you know, they raked the sand trap. I know there was a lot of issues with the golf pros on Twitter. They raked it. I've seen pictures from people who are our followers. Thank you for sending those pictures to us of them raking it. Tony Khan said he's going back. It was so much fun. And then you think, how are they going to top it? And then guess what? He goes against Takeshita the following week.
So, and then what? This week he faced Sammy.
So that, yeah.
The same week he faced Takeshita.
So he faced Takeshita and Sammy. Takeshita really brought him to his limits, too. You had the bridging super suplex off the top, the bridging super German, basically. You had Takeshita hit the blue thunderbomb off the apron. You had Darby coffin dropping him outside the ring, onto the ropes, onto the mat to retain it. You know, Takeshita having the moral conscience of not using the ring. And then you had Sammy proving that he's crazy, doing a swanton off the ladder, the 450 off the corner, Darby throwing himself at Sammy, and just what got me on the Collision episode of Sammy is he had him in the Scorpion Deathlock and he passed out. And you know, Sammy goes to capitalize, and the ref's like, no, I gotta check on him because he's going till the wheels fall off. And you think a normal, sane, rational person would say, all right, I need a break before I face MJF. No. He's like, Speedball, you got next in Portland, Maine. So our heart's gonna be in with that one because not only are we from that New England area, but Speedball, one of our favorites, going against another one of our favorites in Portland, Maine, at the CCCC, Cumberland County Civic Center. I don't care what it's called now. Go watch that match. I'm excited to watch it this week because it's going to be another notch in this belt of a fantastic reign.
I think something a lot of people may not realize. Can we talk about this whole Portland, Maine?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the first TV taping since '97.
So something that you may not know is that Scotty 2 Hottie works backstage.
Yeah, and he's from Portland.
And him and his son actually had a match recently. I think that it's really cool to see what kind of open challenges there could be going into Portland, Maine.
I mean, they have the card pretty much set, so I don't think there's going to be any open challenges.
No?
No, I don't think. If anything, we might see AC Baby because we did see.
That's who I want to talk about.
We did see a little bit of something.
I see those side eyes, AC.
We did see a little something on social media. Ace, who hasn't made an appearance in 2019, Double or Nothing, so it's been 7 long years. Ace,
and
it's been 7
Ace
years.
Has transformed himself. He's is looking
down.
Like a beast.
And you know what? Mama Ramiro can be front row cheering you on just like she is at Limitless because if anyone is a big super fan of Ace, it's Mama Ramiro because there was nothing more that made my heart happy when we were at Limitless. We were watching her mom cheer her son on when he's pouncing people out of the ring or he's just powerbomb people to hell.
His family is so supportive of him, and as someone who, you know, wants to do that for their own, I think that it is really cool to see a family be so supportive of their child. Also going into this Portland, Maine, it's a 3-hour show. So that's exciting.
And I think they're doing that too because we have Collision coming up this weekend. So I bet we'll get another kind of hour show, or maybe they might not run it because I do know Saturday main event or other things. So it could be another one of those tailgate brawls we get on Sunday, like the second hour of Collision. They just haven't announced it yet. Also, I kind of want to talk about, you know, MJF real quick, the stipulation of him going bald. Every week he's trying to get the competitor to beat him so he doesn't go bald. So far it's backfired. Sammy said, I'm still going to shave your dumb ass. Speedball doesn't like MJF, so is he going to be able to keep his hair after Double or Nothing? Is Darby going to be able to hang on? Or am I going to get a bald MJF and finally get my bald battle royal? Because that's one thing I wanted to bring up. The opening of Dynamite this week where MJF walks through the backstage and there's just a sea of bald people everywhere. And AEW did this awesome thing on social media where they were counting them. There was 19 bald people. So
I didn't see that.
So my bald battle royal can happen because if they can get 19 people backstage, I know with that bald roster, we can have a bald referee, we can have bald commentators, we can have a bald battle royal. And you know what? Maybe that's how MJF finally defends his ring. Maybe he gets another battle for his diamond ring. This time it's for bald. You know, I'm just saying we could do something with it. But he would be awesome as a bald heel.
He would be. Also, like, is it his full head, or can he, like... I still feel like MJF is shady as fuck, and there's some kind of stipulation if Darby does retain. Something's coming.
No, I mean...
I kind of want to see Darby retain just because I want to see what happens with this.
I got to give a shout out to Steve, who's one of our loyal followers who always posts in comments. He had some good tinfoil that I wanted to share. What if he makes a deal with Hangman to let Hangman have that stipulation voided if he screws over Darby? Because MJF would do anything to protect his hair. I can see him. You talked about something shady with the stipulation. What if he tells Hangman, listen, cowboy, I'll forget that stipulation. You just got to help me out.
Yeah.
Or what if, and obviously we have a prediction show, so stay tuned next Friday or Saturday. We're going to set down the date in the next couple days here. We're going to have our prediction show with Jeff and Rachel. We'll probably go more into our theories. But a quick little preview for you. I think that there's going to be something about maybe the Don Callis family, because it seems like Andrade, how you know, still not too happy with MJF. It feels like he's been kind of forgotten.
And can we talk about Andrade taking his hat off and just shaking his luscious locks in front of MJF?
Like, he was doing it on Twitter too.
I've got all this hair, motherfucker. What are you gonna have? None.
But that's what I'm saying. He could cost him his luscious locks, and he could still. How you know? How you know? Like, it's just. And then, I love Troll Andrade.
Andrade is coming out on Twitter, and he's going back and forth with people. He's like, "How you know?" I think him and MJF did it on Twitter as well. They're every response back, he's just been like, "How you know?"
And it's great that this meme that started 5 years ago has become relevant again. It's just one of my favorite things, and I think that's something to keep an eye on with Double or Nothing. That's a big thing I was kind of keeping an eye on. But I think we kind of got to get into one quick thing before we switch to Double or Nothing. I want to point out we're about almost halfway through the year. I think MJF and Darby both have solid cases for Wrestlers of the Year right now. I think both men are having solid case for having some of the best matches of their career. Darby Allin, I don't think has had one bad match in this title reign. Even going back to his Andrade match at Dynasty was fantastic. So Darby's definitely, I don't care, you can call me a homer bias, I'm putting him up there. He's going to be in the conversation. MJF too, this second title reign was better than his first, and he could have a third one to continue encapsulate this title reign. So I think both men, the main event Double or Nothing, it's pretty much Wrestler of the Year contention, which is really sweet when you think of how stacked the Double or Nothing card is, that your main event is basically the two people who are 1A, 1B for Wrestler of the Year, in my current opinion.
Yeah, I think there's... Yeah, you talk about Wrestler of the Year. I definitely see Darby right now as that top spot. MJF, it's up in the air. Again, is he going to go away for a movie role? We don't know. Samoa Joe has been kicking ass lately as well.
And that's a great segue into our Double or Nothing segment, because I'm going to tease the Owen here. We're not going to talk about it, but they did announce the participants of the Owen, and one of the first matchups is Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay. And I like that they had a storyline tease of it, because Samoa Joe has been pushing Ospreay to join him. But Ospreay sided with Jon Moxley to get some training. And I like throughout the weeks we've got a great explanation on why Ospreay sided with him. He basically said last night, well, when Moxley took me out, he gave me a second chance at life. He gave me this second chance to find out who I am. He's the ace of the company. I'm gonna listen to him. I need that killer instinct. I couldn't beat him because I didn't have that killer instinct. Moxley telling him, remember when you won the Super Juniors, you were a bird of prey. You were a killer. He's basically reminding Ospreay when he was the ultimate weapon. And he's turning Ospreay into that. And I think it's that devil on your shoulder. It's that devil you know. And it's working for Ospreay. Yeah, I think it's a good way for him to change up his moveset. Because obviously after neck surgery, you have to change how you do things in the ring. This is a great storyline kayfabe way of him switching his moveset up in the ring. We saw it with poor Ace Austin. Great match, but... You got to think of how he was doing the arm bar. He did the Fujikatami arm bar, which is a trademark of Mox. So that's a little bit of Death Rider training. The way he was bouncing backstage on his neck, his aggressiveness, the way he's hitting the hidden blade. He's not quite doing the flips and the dives that everyone accuses him. He seems like he was working the arm the whole match. So it seems like you're now getting a more well-rounded Ospreay. So watch the fuck out AEW, because you're now getting someone who can be the aerial assassin, but also can beat your ass in. Hey, that rhymes. So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this current story?
I really enjoy it. I think that we'll get obviously more into this the further we talk tonight, but I think that the Owen Hart has a lot of storylines that are being intertwined, and I'm very, very excited. I'm still not ready for the bald MJF graphics, guys. I just got a glimpse of that graphic for Double or Nothing.
I mean, I had to. I had to.
I love that somebody was like, you need to edit the tan line. And that's something I'm banking on. If his head is shaved, that tan line is going to be something wild.
I can't wait. Either way, I think it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to go almost brown to white. It's going to be great.
And speaking of Double or Nothing, it's already shaping up. So next week, first of all, as of this recording, it's sold out with over 14,000 fans, which is incredible that the Louis Armstrong is going to be completely full. And if they open everything up like the rumors are suggesting, they might beat 2022, which was their highest attended Double or Nothing ever.
Wow.
Headlined by CM Punk and Hangman. So I think, what better way to have essentially two of your young stars, Darby, and MJF, headlining essentially your anniversary show and setting records. It's already going to be the fourth largest gate in AEW history. So it's already breaking records.
How many matches are announced so far?
So far we have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 matches announced. So we know there's going to be probably at least 3 or 4 more.
Give me my Royale.
There's always a possibility.
That is my favorite part about Double or Nothing since the very beginning.
Which we haven't gotten any really since. You've got like 2.
I know, but that was like everything to me because that's what showed me.
They dangle that carrot on you. They're like, you want this, Emily?
Yes.
You want this Battle Royal?
But I like when they do them, especially on the pre-show, because then everybody gets to kind of see why people watch AEW and why you should buy the pay-per-view. It's called a buy-in for a reason.
Wait, so the pre-show's supposed to have wrestling and not just commercials?
Yeah, it's supposed to show you,
how am I supposed
this is my talent, this is what I have to show you, these are the amazing people in the ring, and you should buy my product because this is what I have to show you.
Should I just have 4 hours of commentating and commercials? Wouldn't that be more?
No. Let's have like 4 hours of matches, and then let's have another 8-hour pay-per-view.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that again.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, we did Mania 35. That was rough to get through that 8 hours. That was a long day.
Also, though, again, we're talking about a difference in product.
And I agree. I think one of my favorite Battle Royals is when Orange Cassidy, little callback, when he had the international title and he had the Battle Royal with him as defending champion. It came down to him, Swerve, because you saw so many people. And it's funny, they just put that whole match on YouTube if you want to go check it out. The amount of people that aren't either there or being utilized the same because the roster changed up. Like, how much this roster has changed in 4 years is incredible, and it's a testament to Tony Khan and AEW. And just this card alone, like, listen to what we have. We already talked about MJF and Darby. We have Okada and Takeshita
finally
for the international title. We have Thekla taking on Shida, taking on Statlander and Hayter in a fatal 4-way. You have Swerve and Bandito in the Owen. You have Ospreay and Samoa Joe in the Owen. You have Willow taking on Windsor in the Owen. You have Cope and Cage against FTR again. And if Cope and Cage lose, they have to disband forever as a tag team. But then they brought it back. Stadium Stampede, because it's not in an arena, so we're not going to get anarchy. It's in a stadium, so we're going to get the biggest ever Stadium Stampede. 7-on-7. Holy shit. I think before we talk about this, I also want to tease, stay tuned because we have an upcoming Stadium Stampede episode. We're going to cover all the Stadium Stampedes and say which ones we like the best, including maybe this one. Because I love Stadium Stampede. I'm so excited. You have Jericho, who's an OG Stadium Stampede. This time he's teaming with the Elite, which is awesome because the first one he was against them. With the Hurt Syndicate. And then you have Ricochet, the Demand, and the Don Callis family, and the Dogs. Like, that's just a crazy lineup.
So, looking at the graphic, it appears that 5 on one team have already been through this. Maybe 4, but I believe 5 have already done Stadium Stampedes. And on the other side, I don't think a single one of them have ever done one, but they've all had... It's an extravagant street fight, if you want to be honest. Yeah, which is great.
When I looked it up, and I could be wrong, it was 4 have done this before and 10 are new.
Perry has not done one?
He's done Anarchy.
Okay, so a little different, but still, again, it's a glorified street fight in the best way possible.
I think it's just a vernacular thing for Tony because they're in a stadium. It's a Stadium Stampede. If when they were in Vegas, they were in an arena. I'm sure we'll still get the music because there's always some sort of fun. I mean,
okay, so
there could be so much chaos with this either way.
Take and look at all of them. Do you think it's going to be I Hurt People playing the whole time? Do you think it's going to be Fozzy playing the whole time?
No, I think we're going to get that New York. that Frank's.
No.
I'm just kidding. No.
If Hook was in it, I would see that happening.
True.
But no.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what song. I don't know if they'll even do a song long enough, but who knows? I think it'll be something New York themed, I feel like, because they're going big with the poster for Double or Nothing is like the taxi cab and like the subway lettering. So like I feel like they're going to do something with New York. Maybe they'll do a New York artist like Biggie Smalls or something. Like maybe they'll do something unexpected. Who knows? It's Tony Khan. He might pull something we don't even think about. Either way, it's going to be fun.
Play I Hurt People the whole time.
But I wanted to circle back to the tag match real quick because I kind of want to throw out a little something I'm excited for. Obviously, I think Cope and Cage are winning. I don't think they're going to lose a second straight one. But think about this for a second. This is probably a chance now where you could set up All In. And I wrote in my notes, London Ladder Mayhem, just like we had at All In 2024. Do we see Motor City Machine Gun and the New Day / New Era versus Cope and Cage and the Bucks and FTR? Because think about that kind of match at All In Wembley. But also think about the lineage you could potentially have with these tag titles. You could have the Young Bucks have held them. Cope and Cage have held them. Motor City Machine Guns could potentially hold them. The New Day could hold them. You have the Rascals who are involved in this mix. You have Private Party when he gets healthy coming back. You have so many tag teams that can mix up with these veterans like Cope and Cage, FTR, Motor City Machine Guns, the potential New Day. And then you have the younger teams who can go against them. So I think, yeah, there's, a good mix of teams, but I think they're really going to put their focus on, because think about what could happen. And I think this match will kind of start teasing that, because the Bucks have already kind of teased having a New Day, and I've already kind of teased wanting to have that match. So could this plant seeds for that future match?
I really hope so. Regardless, I just really hope that we see the New Day, because there's so many... We've only ever gotten to see the New Day inside a WWE ring. There hasn't been a New Japan match. There hasn't been a match in other companies. And there's so many possibilities for this. And I think that we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the fact that there's so many opportunities for the New Day to have new opponents, that I think it would be just a complete miss if we don't see them somewhere, some way, somehow. Because again, CMLL, you've got... Not that I want to see them go into TNA, but even TNA would have new people.
They left because they were asked to take a pay cut. They ain't not going to TNA.
Okay, exactly.
Let's be realistic. Let's be real.
I'm just being honest, saying there are multiple tag teams in every single
I just know you can't pay
area
the New Day
of wrestling right now.
I just don't.
You need to pay them what they're worth, and
those
that's
are
why
IOUs.
WWE lost
Those
them.
are just as good as cash.
So here's the thing: is someone put out there that they should have retired the New Day. They should have done whatever they could to keep them, because that was their tag team bread and butter next to the Usos.
Well, here's the big thing I want to point out. You have certain fans who will sit there and slam AEW and always bring up how much money a company's made, how much money did the New Day make WWE? And then have them take a pay. So it's people use that metric all the time, and then you have someone who literally printed money for WWE that you let go.
So even in singles action, Kofi Kingston sold me a damn shirt.
Big reason why I wanted to go see that in person was for the chance that Kofi was going to win the title against Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania, and he did. And it's one of my favorite moments of all time that we got to see Kofi Mania live. We still watch it back. You still have that baby blue shirt that you look happy on with memories.
I love the fact that I branched out. I didn't really own a lot of wrestling shirts at the time. So that was one of the first shirts I bought, was my Kofi Mania. And again, watching this since between 2004 and 14 off and on, but 2014 on, I've watched WWE pretty organically. I would say that I've been watching it with open eyes since pretty much Total Divas came around.
And every time we watch the Rumble, the one thing she was excited for, what's the Kofi spot going to be? So I want to propose this to you. If we do get a Battle Royal and he's eventually in it, do we get a Kofi spot? Because I feel like that has to happen.
If Kofi does not get a spotlight in some kind of Royale, I'll be shocked. Because
it's his bread and butter, like you said.
So that's just it. No matter what I'm watching, no matter what company I'm watching, I'm looking for somebody, some way to do a Kofi spot. Fuck, Peter Avalon did it.
Yeah,
come on, that was
with Leva in the books.
How happy! I even talked to Leva about that. I was like, Leva, whose idea was this? That whole thing. I absolutely love Mia Royale, and the Kofi spot, the standout spot, the Chelsea spot. There's so many different ways to go about it, but again, that's your Kofi Kingston spot.
And, I want to keep on the topic of tag teams before we move on. We had a returning tag team last night in Collision in TJ, which I'm happy for, because the women's tag division needs tag teams. Because right now you pretty much have the Divine Dominion dominating everyone. You have the
Alley Catch, girl, how do you feel today?
You have
AEW debut.
You have the Brawling Birds. You have Hater, who's been kind of tied up. going after Thekla, and you have Windsor going in the Owens, so you kind of have the Brawling Birds with different gold on their mind, even though they're still focused on that. So, and then you have Willow, who is no longer with Harley, so we really needed some tag teams because to get to All In, to get to through the year, Divine Dominion is going to need competition. I think having maybe a multi-woman match with Divine Dominion and TJ and maybe another tag team, maybe we bring in High and Amaya World finally to let them, and I think that's what we need. Because I'll say this, the biggest issue I have, and it's not even anything negative, too many champions that aren't defending their titles are going for other titles, and I feel like that kind of muddies the water. Like, we have the trios champions, and I love the conglomeration, don't get me wrong, but why aren't they on the Rascals where the Rascals are defending it every week? I love Willow, but why isn't she focused on the TBS instead? Like, it's the little thing. I kind of wish that, like, there's so much talent on the roster. There's so many titles.
You're finally drinking my Kool-Aid.
It's because I feel like it's just been ramped up to 11 these past few months. And I get, Tony Storm.
Like Kevin Knight going for the title. We understood because, let's face it, the TNT title is Darby's title. So, like, that one was understood. But aside from that, like, okay, I'll be the one to say it. Athena and the Owen Hart, that's great. However, maybe something should have happened Friday night. Because, again, we've got 2 champions in the Owen Hart tournament. We don't need a champion to be in the Owen Hart tournament. You're fighting for a title shot.
And I agree with what Jeff said to plug our episode that we did. Make sure you check it out on YouTube when we predicted our own Owen. There should be qualifiers for. I think maybe
they did that the first year. That's the only. When I did my research, I guess we can jump a little bit.
I was gonna say,
here.
let's segue to the Owen.
So when I did my research for the Owen Hart, I have all the matches. We'll talk about it as we go down the line. But 2022, the first ever Owen Hart, that is the only time they've had qualifying matches, and we saw some hell of a good matches. On the men's side, FTR versed each other
at an opportunity that. Dax and Cash, that was one of the first and only times they fought each other.
Yeah, and I think that right there was so
Dax
good.
Won, right?
Yeah, Dax went on. And then I thought in 2023 or 2024, I'll have notes, but I thought that they did do a qualifying match because I thought CM Punk put in for the qualifying, but I guess they didn't. This is the first
He was in the match against Owen in 2020. I mean, against Ricky, I believe, in 2020.
Yeah, he was in it, but I thought he had a qualifying, and it wasn't.
No, I think it was just a straight Owen.
So there was a while, I think 2 or 3 of these, they've called out, I'm going into the Owen. I want in for the Owen.
They've declared, yes.
But yes, declared for it. But this year, it was just, here you go. But we got our Swerve and Bandito storyline. We got our Ospreay and Samoa Joe storyline. And Mark Davis and Jack Perry again.
So I was going to say, let's run down the participants. So in the women's side, we have Persephone versus Hazuki. Now, Hazuki, if you don't know, she is from Stardom. She's fantastic. She's been a tag team champion. She's been in the 5-star Grand Prix, and she's gone very far in the Grand Prix. I like her a lot. She's kind of like a female Darby Allin when it comes to like risk taking. She's definitely one of those up and comers. So she's reckless. Like, she'll go out there, she'll throw herself around, but she's technical too. So she's someone to watch out for because her and Persephone are going to have a hard hitting match. Now that's going to take place in June because Persephone is being cleared. So it's a minor injury they're watching. But Hazuki coming over is great because 1, she's making her AEW debut. 2, she's going to shine in the Owen because if you haven't seen her, I've only seen clips of her and I saw 1 or 2 matches. I saw her against Julia and it was fantastic. That's something I want you to look out for. Then on the other side of that bracket, we have Willow versus Windsor. Now you have Willow, who's TBS champion, Windsor. That takes place this next Sunday at Double or Nothing. That's a good match, but like you said, Willow being in there with the TBS title, it almost doesn't make sense.
Willow's from New Jersey, and we're going to be in Queens. So as much as I love Willow, I want Alex to win that matchup just because that, to me... Because
you predicted her in her episode?
I did not predict her.
Oh, Rachel did, sorry.
Yes, Rachel, and I believe Jeff did.
Yep. Because we had 2 for Windsor.
But, no, I thought...
You had Bane winning. That's
Megan
right.
Bane. I thought for sure she was going to be in this, which I'm still happy. They're tag champions. Let them run. Let this cook. I'm enjoying them as tag team champions. I love Lena Cross.
And then you have on the other side of the bracket, you have Mina Shirakawa in her Owen debut against Athena, who the whole storyline with her and Billy started with the Owen at Forbidden Door when she beat Billy Starks. So she's, no stranger, and obviously you have all those notes. Then you have Sky Blue versus Sari. Another match that might be delayed a little bit because Sari, I believe, just had minor surgery, had a procedure done. But Sari is someone, she was in WB in NXT. If you want to check out Sarai, she was there for a little bit. But she's also made her name in Marigold, and she made her name in Stardom. I like her too because she is physical, she's fast, she's technical. I think she is probably one of the best women in Japan right now. And I think it's another great addition from Stardom. It's someone that if Sky Blue gets the victory, it's going to really elevate Sky Blue because Sari's kind of like the ace of Stardom. She's kind of like that good hand. She's that veteran that you want to test yourself against. Anna Jay tested herself against her when she had her Stardom trip. So I think if someone like Sky Blue can beat Sari, even if Sky Blue doesn't make it far, that'll kind of help give her that little bit of a push that she might need to get that singles run eventually.
Yeah, and I definitely am looking forward to seeing what Sari brings, especially with someone like Sky Blue. They're almost built very similar. So we've had so many different style matchups that I think all 4 of these matches are pretty evenly matched according to height and everything like that.
And so that's going to be,
and their styles all mesh really well. Persephone being in this, how exciting. I'm so happy for her.
You called her being in it.
I did, and I just really want to see her take that first win. And I don't know, like, I just really, out of all the women here, I would love to see Alex Windsor take this. However, if it's Persephone, I'll be so happy too.
I think it's probably going to be Athena. That's who I'm thinking might win it. I have that feeling.
You have to Mongo out your tinfoil hat that you tried to pull on me the other night, and I was like, all right, you're thinking too far into this. I had to reel him back in, guys.
I don't know if I'm going to go too far into that yet. I think I want to wait and see how the first match plays out.
You still think that could happen?
I still see Athena winning.
Guys, get the fishing lures.
But here's another thing. So I said Sari was hurt, right?
This is where I'm telling you, get the fishing reels. So,
is she replaced by Mercedes?
Just because you want Mercedes to win doesn't mean someone's got to get taken out.
I know, I understand. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being 100% is going to happen, 1 being it's not going to, it's like a 2. So it's more like, I don't think because, I'll throw out my early prediction, I think Mercedes confronts Thekla after Double. I think that's how she sets up that. Because once they didn't announce her in that, I felt like they were going a different direction. I think if Athena can win this, and maybe she's so focused on the Owen, maybe that's how she drops the Ring of Honor title finally. I think that could play out. Either way, I'm excited because the women's is probably the most unpredictable one of the Owen. Because I could see Alex Windsor winning. I could see Persephone winning. I could see Mina winning. I could see a Sky Blue getting to the finals. Like, it's such a...
I could see any one of these women because they all
embody
we're going
wrestling.
Back to the very beginning. The very first Owen Hart, we saw Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, Ruby Soho versus Rio, Britt Baker versus Maki Ito. And I think that when you look at those 8 women and you look at these 8 women, there's a lot of similarities here around what companies they're with. And I think that this is...
I miss Maki.
Me too. I was like, oh my God, I forgot she was in that. So I think that it's really cool to go back and look and say, oh, wow, Ruby Soho was in 2 of these finals.
And remember, like as Jeff pointed out, she lost back-to-back and the crowd was not happy about that. But, and you have a former winner. You have Willow, I believe she won the Owen in this too. So you have someone who wants to try to make history.
Willow has been in 3 finals.
And she's won one of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember her. I think she won the year Ricky Starks won. So I do like that. The men's, it may seem a little more predictable, but I still think the men's will be a great tournament. I got to pat myself on the back because I said on our prediction show that Will Ospreay is going to have to run the gamut of big men. And then once you hear what these brackets are, I think you'll see where maybe I was wrong to something. Because the first match, as we alluded to earlier, Samoa Joe versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing.
Ouch.
Then, as Emily mentioned, Mark Davis and Jungle Jack Perry rematch from Fairway to Hell. That match was already wild.
And they had a match before that as well. So they've had an ongoing feud. They've faced each other now 3 times in between 2 pay-per-views.
And obviously they're going to be facing each other at Stadium Stampede. So like they're on opposite sides of the field. So there's a lot of bloodshed in this feud.
And I want to follow this story along because I think that this story is eventually going to evolve into a also tag team division storyline or a trios storyline.
Well,
so I want to follow what Mark
back.
Davis is doing with Jake something coming back, Luchasaurus coming back, and I mean, there's always potential for Marco to come back, Tony Khan. So I feel like the fans would really enjoy that, especially me.
But then you have...
I don't know. I think there's a very good long-term story with this.
And then speaking of the story, you have Swerve who called out Bandito.
For weeks now.
So he attacked him at Ring of Honor Supercard this Friday, delivering a vertebreaker on a steel chair after Bandito had a hard-fought match against Blake Christian. And then backstage, Brody King was fired up, and Bandito's like, no, I need to do this by myself. So you have Swerve taking on Bandito at Double or Nothing. But then, to fill out the bracket, you have Claudio and Brody King. So if Swerve wins, he could take on Claudio or Brody King. If Bandito wins, he might have to go against Claudio or his former tag partner. And then when I was saying going through the heavies, think about this. If Will Ospreay wins and Mark Davis wins, he's going to have to go through Samoa Joe and his former partner in United Empire, Mark Davis, that beef, to get to the finals to face either potentially Swerve, Bandito, Claudio, or Brody King. So he's not going to have an easy road. And as you know, that's my prediction to win the Owen. I believe you picked Brody King.
I did.
And Jeff and Rachel picked Will as well. So all four of us have the chance to have our prediction come true because they're all in the tournament.
Like, a lot of people are predicting it's Will versus Swerve. I would love to see Will versus Brody because I think Swerve versus Brody again, there's another long story. I think that getting the baddest of the bad again wouldn't hurt. So give me that story again and then give me Brody versus Will.
But I even think if you have Will versus Swerve, it's the third one, and then a year later they're wrestling at Forbidden Door again, because the finals at Forbidden Door, which is a little strange. I thought they were going to do Redemption, kind of stretch it out a little bit, so it's going to seem like we're going to have a couple qualifying matches, Double or Nothing, so probably a Dynamite and a Collision. They said in June, and then the finals at Forbidden Door. So we have potential for a summer of crazy matchups, and it's going to all lead into a summer of redemption as well as All In. So I think this Owen has a chance to really set the stage for probably one of their biggest All-Ins to date.
Something else I do want to point out is that Samoa Joe was in the first final against Adam Cole.
Baby.
And I just want to put this in perspective of how diverse the roster has become in the past couple of years. It's been 4 years. The first Owen Hart was Kyle O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix, Samoa Joe versus Johnny Elite, now Johnny TV, Adam Cole versus Dax Harwood, Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin.
And that Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin match was absolutely insane. That was that crazy ladder bump where he went through the chairs. Also, fun fact for the Johnny Elite, remember when he debuted, Twitter was like, oh my God, Johnny Gargano's here. Because remember, Johnny Gargano hadn't gone back to WWE, and people were like, Johnny Gargano is all elite. I'm like, that's John Morrison. That's not Johnny Gargano. That's one thing I always remember about that tournament. So when you said Johnny Elite, that just instantly came back to my brain.
And then in the second Owen Hart, Samoa Joe was also in that against Roddy. And then you've got Punk against Kojima. You've got Starks versus Juice. And Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes. So the men's have always been pretty diverse. And this year, like Mongo said, they're beefy. It is a beefy one.
Yeah, it's like, good luck to whoever. Like, you're gonna be worn down by Forbidden Door if you make it, because that's why. Yeah, it may be obvious, but again, they could pull the wool over your eyes. It could be something. Again, I said earlier, could Claudio get taken out? Could Ospreay pay one of his United Empire members to take out Claudio and betray the Death Riders and have someone else take that place, and we have a secret wild card? There's so much that can happen between now and Forbidden Door.
So the first final was Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. The second one was Ricky versus CM Punk. The third one was Jeff Jarrett had entered it and then became a ref against Bryan and Hangman.
Yep, because remember he wanted to do it for respect of his friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that one was weird because Jeff Jarrett came out. It was such a weird storyline. He declared he wanted to go for one more shot, and he was retiring. And then the internet just did not like it. And they kind of had that weird blow off match with MJF. But I think they really do a good job with the Owen, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Again, I know we've talked about it a couple times. Check out our episode. We'll link it here in the description as well. You want to check out our episode on the Owen. We booked it. We said who we think's going to win, why, and I think I could be onto something with mine. I think Emily could be onto something with her Brody stipulations. Rachel could potentially pick both winners because she said, spoiler alert, Alex and Will kind of mirroring what you just said, the Britt Baker and Adam Cole finals.
Yep. And again, to go with the underdog stories, I'm just going to continue with the women's finals. You saw Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, Willow versus Ruby Soho. You've got Mariah May versus Willow, Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter.
So Willow lost back-to-back finals. That's wild.
No, Willow won one and lost the next.
That's right. She lost one, lost. But what was special about Mariah winning? Because I distinctly remember that's when, as we were talking about off air, that's when they kind of pivoted to an all-in match because probably the most famous heel turn of AEW history was Mariah stabbing Tony with that shoe, just beating her down and bloodying her up.
Watch for the shoe. That is still probably my favorite storyline in wrestling history. I think that
100%
is
top 5 for me all time.
Yeah, again, like I haven't been watching as long as Mongo has, so like don't throw back any shade at me. I think that this story had everything to it. It had comedy, drama, love, betrayal, every little piece, gluttony. It was just a chef's kiss. Luther on top of it, Mina coming in and out. I think that
she slapped her own mom at Wembley.
There's so many things that go into this. Them dressing up as each other. Like, hello, it's me. I love that. I think
Tony losing, getting the amnesia, but pulling the wool over her eyes to say, I haven't forgotten.
And the Hollywood ending, I talk about that match to my guests at my job. Like, I've literally been like, if they tell me they like WWE, I'm like, yeah, what do you think of Blake Monroe? I really liked her in AEW. She was literally my favorite AEW wrestler. And they were like, oh, well, like, she's pretty good. I'm like, you should go back and watch this match.
And you go check out our channel.
Like, they tape their hands up and they put it in the champagne glass. Like, that was so storytelling. And it's so weird to, like, talk about that to, like, random people. But that was the chef's kiss of the story.
And you can go back. We did a whole episode. It's called It's All About Mariah. We did a whole deep dive into the storyline up to the Hollywood ending because it is one of our favorites. And like Emily said, they went places you didn't see women's matches going. And I think that really turned the tides of the Owen. I really think that year is when a light bulb went in because obviously 2025 you had Mercedes and you had Cowboy win. You had Hangman win against Ospreay in the finals, and you had Mercedes taking out Hayter in the finals last year at Double or Nothing. Both went to All In. Hangman got his glory, his redemption, and Mercedes came up short against Tony, so it's not a guaranteed win. But I like that they put the big stakes to this. So winning the Owen is a big deal because, as you found out in your notes, it's the concept started. You got a title shot, but now it feels like it's morphed into no, you get a title shot, the biggest event of the year.
And I wonder if you look at these, if maybe this is something I'll look up this week, but are these the top contenders? Do you remember when they used to do, like, the ratings?
Oh, I don't want to get into the rankings. I can do a whole gripe session on the rankings, how they come back and forth. So the rankings started, then they disappeared, then they came back, then they disappeared. Then, like, 2 years ago, they came back with no warning, and they disappeared again. I think they've tried. I think it's just too hard because too many people get, like, nitpicky. Well, this person should be a number 2. So I think they got rid of it because it's too much to keep up with.
Yeah.
I would say, looking at the men's, Samoa Joe never really got his rematch. Ospreay should always kind of be at the top of the card. Mark and Jungle have kind of had, streaks that they've gone on, hot streaks. Both, obviously now Mark's the champion, but Jack Perry winning that title. You have Swerve, who never really got his rematch. Bandito, who should have gotten a title match last year. Claudio, who dominated the C2, didn't get to win. He should have one. And Brody, who he had his, but he never really got a fair chance because he had MJF, but it wasn't really shake-up.
Brody's held the tag, the trios, and now he could hold the world.
And then on the Owen Hart side for the women, you have Persephone, who's been a champion in CMLL. Hazuki, who's proven she can go far in tournaments. That 5-star Grand Prix, she dominated. If it wasn't for having such a top-heavy card, she probably could have won that. Willow, past winner, and she has all the potential to win world champion. Alex Windsor, New Japan Strong Women's World Champion, has held the British Strong Championship at Rev Pro. She's the one who combined the 2 titles at Rev Pro when that happened, so she has lineage. Mina, Stardom. Athena, Forever World Champion. Sky Blue kind of had a breakout year after Blood and Guts, has really been on the rise, so she definitely earned some singles shots there. And Cerise, that veteran who has earned that shot to step in for a chance. So to answer your question in that long-winded spiel, I'm sorry, I think everyone there is considered like in the top of their rankings.
Class. Yeah. Yes. So that's what I was kind of looking at. It's like when you look at their matches, when you look at everything, are they the top of their divisions? And I think that's what they went with. And I wish that the men's division had a little more company diversity, but also you have Bandito, who's CML heavy. You've got Mark Davis, who is pretty well known in New Japan, right?
Well, Mark Davis, yeah, Aussie Open was well known in New Japan. Yeah, they dominated New Japan for a while. Remember that series against FTR for a while?
Yeah, and Ospreay, who's obviously all over the world.
And then Samoa Joe, who's won titles in pretty much every company he's been in.
Yeah, so there is diversity. It's just a little different of a diversity.
Now, I will say this, and I think their roster, I think they need to expand it next year. I think they need to, right now it's 8, they need to expand to 16.
That's why the qualifying matches were so perfect, because it did give you that.
I think if you expand to 16, those, then you kind of have that chance to, it won't be as predictable because you could put some people in there that you think are going to be a pin eater that get through to the, to the semifinals.
And you could start it sooner. You could have them kind of announce themselves at Dynasty. One person per each Owen. Like, oh shit, they're the first one to announce themselves.
I liked what they did a few years ago with Matt Camp when they had that selection show for the C2 where they kind of like had that, like before the episode of Dynamite, it was like a 15-minute special. It was Tony Schiavone, Matt Camp. Remember, he used to be on like The Bump and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, this person's in the C2. Here's why they're in the C2. I think if they did that for like the initial 16 and almost like have scorecards online. Like I love like the NHL and the NFL when they put their brackets online. So like when the Hurricanes advance or the Bruins, well, they didn't this year. When the teams advance, you could see like, okay, here's who like this. You could see the brackets, but you saw all the way, so you could say, okay, well, if they win this, oh my God, they'd have to go get this person in the final. Like, you can map it out, and it's a single elimination bracket. They've done it with King of the Ring in the past. They've done it with other tournaments. I think it's possible. You have a big roster, especially with the women's roster. I think there's a lot of women who are left off, and I think there's a lot of men left off. I think next year expand to 16. I think the roster's big enough. You have Collision and you have Dynamite. You could easily have a match a week on each show, and have your pay-per-views be like your quarters and your semis. Like you could have, okay, we're going to start out, like you said, on Dynamite Collision, and then Double or Nothing, it's where the first quarterfinals take place, and then you get to Forbidden Door, you do the semis, and then maybe Redemption, you do your finals. So each pay-per-view, there's going to be that tournament, so it's like they have to go for months and months, so maybe it means something when they win it. Not that it doesn't mean something, but...
Yeah, and the predictability of, like, someone being a mystery opponent, we love that. And I
was surprised there's no wild cards.
That's a miss. Give us a wild card every once in a while. Surprise us. Sari could have been a wild card.
Hazuki could have been a wild card.
Like, honestly, Athena.
Bandito.
Like, there's people that could have easily been a wild card. So, like, when they were like, oh, we're going to announce the brackets, I was expecting...
I didn't know they were trying to throw it up on the TV.
Something different. I don't know. Maybe I felt a little let down and I shouldn't have expected something more. No, but I think just tossing up a bracket, I was like, wait, that's it? That's our announcement we've been waiting for? You let me down for once.
And I think once it plays out, it's going to be great. Like if you, again, make sure you listen to us next Friday night or next Saturday night. We're going to be doing our live show with Jeff and Rachel, doing our predictions for Double or Nothing. We'll talk about more what we think, but I think it's going to shape out good. I think once Double or Nothing happens, we're going to have another solid pay-per-view, another solid match. And who knows? There could be an upset neither one of us seeing. We could see, imagine Ospreay gets upset the first round by Samoa Joe. That could shake up the whole tournament. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but you never know. AEW is so unpredictable, and I love it because just when you think you know where they're going to go, they go in a different direction. And they're not just swerving you for shock value. Tony always seems to have a plan. Tony always has. When Darby won, remember the outrage when Darby first won the belt? People online were pissed off because of how he lost MJF, and now I've seen it on our page. I know you have too, at Cruise and Kayfabe and all of our socials. Cheap plug. Everyone who's come in has like, this has been a great title run. I love this title run. One person said, I think this is up there with Orange Cassidy's title run, and I agree. It went for, like we said it was going to be. It's not going to be a year-long title reign, because I think those title reigns broke people. Because it's like you have either, oh, this person's holding the title hostage and never defend it. Oh, why are they defending it so much? Like, people are just never happy.
So if you look at the amount of people that came out from the back to celebrate with Darby winning that, I think that right there shows you who Darby is as a person and why they entrusted him with this. I think as wild and crazy as Darby is, he's a damn good person at the end of the day, and he has such a big heart. And if you ever get the chance to meet Darby Allin at a convention, take the opportunity.
Talk with him for 5 minutes.
So good with fans. He's just, there's a reason that we're huge fans of his. There's like a huge reason we are fans of his. Go back and listen to any episode. I will not rave about Darby Allin because of what he did for our child.
And make sure too, if you're checking out here on YouTube, I put some shorts up of his title matches. I have part 1, part 2 just came up today. After the Speedball match and Double Nothing, I'll put up part 3, and then I'll put up the whole video, because it's been one of my favorite title runs I've seen in a long time, because it is a workhorse title run.
And when was the last time you saw that many people come out to celebrate someone's title win?
That's what I'm saying. I think it goes to show you that AEW has something different. And I think I'll kind of end with this statement. A lot of people want to fit AEW to this one shoebox, this one like monolith of something. Well, wrestling's not a monolith. Wrestling isn't just one thing. Like we always said, wrestling is everything. It's a variety show. If you don't like flips and dives and kicks, you have the FTRs, you have the technical wrestling. If you don't like the strong style, if you don't like all that stuff, you have the Ospreys, you have the Darby Allins, you have the Ricochets, you have the Kevin Knights. If you like just tag team wrestling, it has that. So if you're newer to AEW, HBO Max, go check out some of the matches. Go check out their YouTube. Go check out our YouTube. There's so much great stuff they do, and that's one of the things they do the best.
If you want to see why we have the utmost respect for Swerve Strickland, go watch Hangman vs. Strickland on our YouTube.
And I know we keep talking about that a lot, but because a lot of these videos we put a lot of love and passion into, because we've been watching AEW since day one. We've been watching it since it was an idea and a BTE clip on New Year's Eve 2019. And it's just something that we know there's a lot of new fans tuning in. We know there's a lot of people who are new. We're never going to gatekeep. You're never going to hear from us, oh, we don't have time to explain to you. If you have questions about what matches you should watch, DM us. Check our videos out. We have no problem. We love to share, because AEW is one of those things, it's so entertaining to us that when someone's excited about, maybe we word vomit too much. Like you said with your guest, I do all the time at work. Someone's like, oh, are you going to go watch this tonight? No, man, I got Double or Nothing that night. What's Double or Nothing? Well, let me tell you about it. And yeah, maybe I'm annoying about it, but that's why we started a podcast. So I can be annoying, and maybe people who want to listen will listen.
I enjoy that I have guests of mine asking me, like, hey, what numbers are we at now? And it's just like, I keep telling them, like, we're at 22,000 followers, and it means so much to me. I can't say enough just how thankful I am to have a community to talk about wrestling with. If you're new to our podcast and you're not aware, sometimes it's not Mongo commenting back at you. It's me, bro. I love when somebody's like, yeah, bro, I have the same idea. And I'm like, yeah, bro, we do. But I don't care. I think that's what's great about it, is you just don't know which one of us you're going to talk to. If it's a little snarky, sorry, I had a long week. Sometimes
could be me being with a little clapback, but I think, and the reason why we do it, like, I'll see pages where it'll be like dash DM or dash C. The only reason why I do it is because this is a joint venture between her and I. Like, this is something that we've done, and we're not saying we have one voice, we have one mentality, but I wanted to prove something a while ago that unfortunately there is a stigma, and I've seen it with female creators where they instantly have their opinions dismissed because they're a female. There's been many opinions y'all have loved on the page that have not been mine. I will just say that. I won't say which ones, because there's been plenty of posts and stuff where I've had, man, Mongo, you got some great ideas. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, they loved your idea. And because we want you to see what we like together and not have to put anything to quantify because it's wrestling and we enjoy it. We have differences in opinions on how we watch things too. You know, she loves more of the high flying. I love it all. I'm not saying you don't love it all, but variety is the spice of life, and AEW is such a good variety show, and that's why I enjoy it. And that's why I'm excited for this Owen, because like you said, there's so much variety in this Owen. I think every match has the potential to be an amazing match.
And always DM us. Like, don't be afraid to reach out.
Just not like 300 times a day, please.
Yeah. I want to know like matches that I should be watching from WCW or AAA. There's CML, Lucha Underground. Like
New Japan Stardom.
Like give me matches that I can also look at. Rev Pro. I don't care if it's your small Utah independent wrestling show. If it's a match that you think we would enjoy, if it's something we can
find and watch,
yeah, send it to us. Like I'm such a curious person when it comes to wrestling, and I'm going to be starting my own journey as far as my TikTok and content creating, so go follow me. I'm pushing myself out there. So I just want to watch more wrestling with you.
No, I couldn't agree more. I am excited to see what's coming up. Again, you know, this week we just dropped our episode where we watched some WCW matches. Go check that out, where Emily got to see some incredible cruiserweight action for the first time. We have our prediction show coming up. Again, if you make sure you stay tuned to @CruisingWithKayfabe on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, @It'sMongo on TikTok, @CruisingWithKayfabe Emily on TikTok as well. And again, if you go to cwkpod.com, all those socials are right there for you. We like to always have easy ways, so you have a way to communicate us. You have a way. Drop in the comments what you like, what you don't like, your thoughts. As long as it's a productive conversation, you're not trolling, we're willing to have a conversation, and that's what we want to appreciate. And again, like Emily said before, we can't do this without you. We appreciate everyone who's ever tuned in, who's thrown us a like, or even thrown us a comment. It means the world to us. So I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great weekend, has a great night. But remember, always keep the kayfabe.
What's he doing? Darby Allin! Oh no! Darby! The strike twice! Even just there he goes, Darby! Ripping! Again, adjust the position! On the charge of kill! Oh my God! Power! Not done! Coffin drop! Does! He makes it in, but Darby on the attack! Coffin drop! Tony! One! Get him! Three! A vertical leap by Knight, and then the drop kick to the head. Tope! Suicide, I think. Up the hook! Oh! Darby Allin! Let's do this! Oh my! Kevin Knight! Away, but he's trying! Kevin Knight! He hits it! Kevin Knight, the UFC UFO splash on that time. Darby the coffin yet. Coffin drop. 1, 2, 3.
I love it.
Tumbles out of the way. There he goes. Oh!
Nice up for a similar fight.
Oh! There's always a chance of that. Oh! Gorilla press. But you got to win or lose the match inside the ring. Pick up.
Darby Allin, resolute, fighting back.
Scorpion death.
Fairway.
And Thekla. Darby looking for the code red, but instead the wheelbarrow German
Is far beyond
Wait
that.
a second, Thekla catching Darby. Boom! Thunder!
Drop.
Coffin drop! Yes! Darby! Revenge!
Up top.
This one puts it
Adam passed out. Adam passed out.
I believe so. Here comes the GT.